The topic of wedding cakes has finally found its way to the Supreme Court. Colorado officials say that Masterpiece Cake Shop can't sell wedding cakes at all unless it agrees to provide them to same-sex weddings, even though those weddings conflict with the owner's Christian beliefs. Today, the Supreme Court held oral arguments in that case, which has critical implications for the scope of religious freedom in the United States and for the exercise of speech itself, of course. Shannon Bream hosts Fox News at night, but she's also our chief legal correspondent and very good at that. And she joins us now to explain what this case is about. Great to see you, Shannon.
You too, Tucker. Well, it was, heated inside and outside. Lots of demonstrations there today, but inside heated as well because the bench was what we call hot. They were often asking questions, talking over each other, not really allowing the four attorneys who argued this case today to really get in a word edgewise. And what is at the center of this case is essentially Jack Phillips is a Christian bakery owner out of Colorado. He was approached by a same-sex couple who said, we want you to do a wedding cake for us, a custom wedding cake. At the time, same-sex marriage wasn't even legal in Colorado, but they were planning to get married in another state where it was legal and come back. And he said, listen, I'll sell you anything in the shop, but I'm an artist and I can't lend my skills to anything that I think is offensive to my Christian faith. He had turned away other cakes and other events as well. So he says, never about the person. It's about the message he as an artist is expected to endorse. And he says, there's no way the government can force me or compel my speech on that front. The couple says they left humiliated. They say this is not about a cake. It is about freedom. It's about LGBT rights. They say they don't want another couple or other LGBT individuals in this country to go through what they went through. They said, listen, if you're in the stream of commerce, essentially, you need to be able to step up and sell. You can't pick and choose who your customers are going to be. I want to read you a little bit of what Justice Anthony Kennedy said, because everybody watches him, of course, because he has authored many cases, many decisions that are, broaden LGBT rights and help the LGBT community. He's talked about the dignity of them and their families. But today he raised an interesting point when he said this. He said, tolerance is essential in a free society. Tolerance is most meaningful when it's mutual. It seems to me that the state in its position here has been neither tolerant nor respectful of Mr. Phelps' religious beliefs. He was tough on both sides, but he'll probably be the key in this case, Tucker.
It's a very reasonable point, I think. Shannon, thanks a lot.
You got it.
Mike Farris is President, CEO, and General Counsel of Alliance Defending Freedom. That's the group that represents Masterpiece Cake Shop, and he joins us tonight. Mike, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Tucker. Great to be with you.
So, tell us why this case affects the rest of us who don't own cake shops in Colorado.
Because it's broadly about freedom of speech. And the artists that create cakes, the artists that create music, print, all sorts of artistic creations. Anybody who's in the free speech business would be affected if the ACLU's theory of the case is adopted. They contend that anybody who creates any kind of speech in the stream of commerce has no First Amendment rights whatsoever to not be coerced by the government. And that kind of coercion of speech is at the pinnacle of what the Free Speech Clause has always been designed to protect against.
Well, wait a second. The ACLU's theory, I thought the ACLU was founded in order to protect the freedom of speech of the unpopular, by the way, of war resistors in the First World War and Nazis and other people on the fringes. But they've given up on that charter?
They have indeed. I think they've lost their way. I didn't agree with the ACLU on many issues over the year, but I admired them for their consistency on free speech. But today they've turned their back on that. The agenda of advancing the gay marriage issue has, I think, blinded them to the free speech implications of their own position. Moreover, the court really focused, Justice Kennedy in particular, focused on the religious intolerance that was shown by one of the Colorado Civil Rights Commissioners. And Justice Kennedy engaged in the most heated exchange I've ever seen in the dozens of Supreme Court cases I've watched, and basically forced the Solicitor General of Colorado to disavow a statement by one of the commissioners who was very anti-religious in their comments. And I think that may really turn this case in an important direction.
Yeah, I don't really know what this has to do with same-sex marriage or gay rights, and I personally know some gay people who are appalled by this because it suggests that government can tell you, whoever you are, exactly what to think, and if you disagree, they can punish you. I mean, that's a threat to everybody, no matter who you voted for.
That's exactly right. America used to be founded on the premise that I disagree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. That's an important principle that was at stake today, and I really hope and believe that the court's going to come out right on this, but it's going to be a close call. Very, very contentious today.
Is that true? So who on the Supreme Court would you expect would uphold the idea that government can punish you for having views it dislikes?
Some of the liberal justices on the court made comments that would tend to put them in that direction, but I have hope that a couple of the others that are usually in the liberal category may see the better of it, and so I'd rather not name names unless I predict wrongly and lose a vote on the Supreme Court.
That might be counterproductive. Mike, thank you very much.